Heading to the movies? Reserve your seat before the show on Fandango. Find times, read reviews, watch the trailers, and buy tickets to your favorite theater. Fast and easy on the Fandango app or Fandango.com. All that's left is choosing butter or no butter. As if that's a tough decision. Every movie, every feeling, every time. And did we mention double rewards? That's Fandango, your one stop before showtime.
Ah, that was easy. That was you after working with Mettler Toledo on your next vehicle scale project. With our free project guide, you can ensure smooth execution and happier customers. Download at mt.com/VEH-guide.
Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives, and check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/greatdetectives. Today's program is brought to you in part by the financial support of our listeners. You can support the show by mailing a one-time donation to Adam Graham, P.O. Box 15913, P.O. Box 15913, Boise, Idaho 83715. You can also become one of our ongoing Patreon supporters for as little as $4 per month. And I want to go ahead and thank Rose for becoming our latest Patreon supporter at the Shamus level of $4 or more per month. Thank you so much for your support, Rose. Now it's time for this week's episode of Tales of the Texas Rangers. The original air date is August the 31st, 1952, and the title is Misplaced Person.
Tales of the Texas Rangers, starring Joel McCrea as Ranger Jace Pearson. Another authentic reenactment of a case transcribed from the files of the Texas Rangers. Names, dates, and places in the following story are fictitious for obvious reasons. The events themselves are a matter of record.
Every day, Monday through Friday, you're invited to a new program on NBC as Jay Sims brings you inside news from Hollywood. Yes, this is another in NBC's stellar daytime lineup of interesting and entertaining daytime radio programs. You'll enjoy such other favorites as Walter O'Keefe, who MCs America's funniest daily quiz program, Double or Nothing. Warren Hull, who presides over the program with a heart, Strike It Rich. And Tommy Bartlett, the MC with the roving microphone to welcome travelers as they stream through Chicago. And there's more entertainment, too, with Dial Dave Garraway. Dave has an easy, relaxed manner that's certain to give you an idea or two on how to beat the heat. And every day, Monday through Friday, NBC presents the two boys from Boston who this year won the coveted Peabody Award, Bob and Ray. If you're tired of the same old thing on comedy shows, be sure to listen to Bob and Ray for a new concept of humor, a concept you're sure to enjoy. Now, here are Tales of the Texas Rangers.
And now, from the files of the Texas Rangers, the case called Misplaced Person.
It is 1:30 p.m., Tuesday, November 6th, 1949, near Stockville, Texas. A woman and her 5-year-old son are entering a path through the woods on their way to a neighbor's house.
Rowdy, what on earth are you hanging back for? Do you want to miss the whole party?
I don't want to go that way.
Hurry up. We're half an hour late already.
I don't want to, Mommy. There's a ghost in there.
Roddy, quit your dawdling and come on.
Mommy, there's a bad thing in here. I'm scared.
Now, honey, ever since Halloween you've been imagining things. I told you there's no such thing as goblins and boogeymen. Now, come on, dear.
But I saw it, Mommy.
Oh, Lammy, there's nothing to be frightened of. Your mommy's right here with you, isn't she?
I don't want to go this way.
Now, Roddy, we can't be a baby all our lives, can we? Now, come along, honey.
I don't want to go to the party.
Roddy, you're just letting your imagination run away with you. Where is the thing you saw?
It's in the bushes. Over there.
Take hold of Mommy's hand. That's right. Now, show me where it is.
I don't want to.
Come on, Roddy. Mommy wants to show you that there's nothing to be frightened of. Is it over that way?
Yes.
All right. I'll show you. Come on.
Uh-uh.
Ghosts and goblins are just make-believe, honey. You don't want to grow up to be a scaredy cat, do you?
No.
All right, then. You just show Mommy where it is.
It's right over there.
By that bush?
Uh-huh.
Now, Mommy will prove to you that it's all your imagination.
There it is, Mommy.
Where?
Right there. See?
Roddy Clark was not imagining things. What he had seen in the brush was the bruised and beaten body of a dead woman. His mother immediately notified the sheriff of Stockville County, who sent for the aid of the Texas Rangers. Rangers Jace Pearson and Clay Morgan were assigned. While Ranger Morgan searched the area around the body for tracks, Ranger Pearson talked to the little boy's mother.
Oh, I was scared half out of my wits when I saw it, Ranger.
What's your name, ma'am?
Emma Clark. My little son really found it.
It's kind of tough for a little kid to see something like that.
Oh, I just hope he'll be able to sleep tonight.
Is the body just the way it was when you found it, ma'am?
Yes, it is, Ranger. As soon as I saw it, I ran to the neighbors and phoned the sheriff.
Jace, come here a minute.
All right, Clay. Thank you very much, ma'am. I guess that'll be all for now. We want you to sign a statement later on.
I'll be glad to. Sure hope you can catch the murderer, Ranger.
You find something, Clay?
Yeah, I found this purse just off the road, Jace. Yeah, look, it's got some blood on it.
Any identification in it?
I haven't been able to find any. Quite a bit of money, though.
It throws out robbery as a motive. Anything else?
Oh, usual claptrap women carry. Compact, lipstick, cigarettes. Now, wait a minute. Here's a cash register receipt that has something scribbled on it.
What's it say?
Dr. Schiller, Avalon 818.
That might help. Maybe the woman was one of his patients.
Well, it's something to start on anyway.
Yeah. Maybe he can tell us who she is. We checked with the telephone company and found that Avalon 818 was the telephone number of a trailer court just outside Corpus Christi. We called and found that a Dr. Schiller lived there. We talked to him and asked him to meet us the next morning at the funeral parlor in Stockville. At 10:30 the following day, we were checking over the woman's clothing in the waiting room of the mortuary when a thin, erect man walked in. Dr. Schiller?
Yes?
I'm Ranger Pearson. And this is Ranger Morgan.
How do you do?
Howdy.
Have a chair, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
We sent for you, Dr. Schiller, because a woman we think you must know was found murdered yesterday.
How shocking. Who is it?
We don't know. But your name and telephone number were scribbled on a market slip found in her purse.
Oh, that's even worse, isn't it?
Have you ever seen this purse before, Doctor?
No, I don't recall that I have.
Here's the market slip.
May I see it, please?
Sure.
Extraordinary. Yes, it is my number, gentlemen.
You recognize the handwriting?
No, sir, I do not.
Are you practicing in Corpus Christi, Doctor?
Oh, no. I wish that I could practice here. But you see, I've come to America on a quota. Just recently. I'm not yet a citizen.
How long have you been here?
I left Vienna 6 months ago.
Are you an MD?
Yes, for many years. You see, I was in psychologie clinique.
I'm not much of a linguist, Doctor. Would you,
Excuse me. Clinical psychology. I was with Dr. Young at Zurich.
I see. Doctor, do you have any idea how your number got into the dead woman's purse?
None whatsoever. How could I, when I have no idea to whom this purse belongs?
I think perhaps you'd better take a look at the body. You might recognize the woman and be able to tell us something.
It is possible.
You come into the next room with us, Doctor?
Very well.
Some decomposition has set in, of course, but the features are still recognizable.
There's the body on that slab.
She must have been frightened when she died, judging from the muscle tension.
Yes. Well, Doctor?
I'm quite positive, Ranger Pearson, that I have never seen this woman before this moment.
You think someone else gave her your name and number?
Perhaps.
Can you think of anyone who might have?
No, I'm sorry. I'm quite mystified.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Schiller. We have your name and address, and we'll send for you again if we need you.
Do, by all means. I should be happy to be of any assistance that I can.
Thank you. Goodbye, sir.
Good day, gentlemen.
Well, where do we go from here, Jace?
Looks to me like a long, hard night digging into the files on missing persons. Examination of over 200 reports on missing persons finally produced a record which described the murdered woman. We sent for Mrs. Fields, who had reported her sister missing for several weeks. She identified the body and expressed distrust of her sister's husband, Thomas Red Orme, a fisherman. She stated he had recently collected insurance on the drowning of Mrs. Orme's son. Since the husband had filed no report on his wife's disappearance, we drove to Corpus Christi to talk to him. We located Orme on the Shrimper Caroline, a beat-up trawler moored to the slime-covered piles of a wharf in Redfish Bay.
Caroline, here it is, Jace.
Yeah, she's sure a rusty old tub. Let's go board, Clay.
Right. You can smell that brine from here to Galveston.
Well, you're not in the pilot house.
No, no sign of him.
Yeah, maybe he's below in the cabin. Come on, let's go down.
Right.
Who's there?
Mr. Orme?
Who is it?
I'm Ranger Pearson. This is Ranger Morgan.
What's on your mind, Ranger?
We'd like to ask you some questions.
Well, I'm pretty busy getting ready to pull out tomorrow on a 3-day haul.
I'm afraid you have to change your plans, Mr. Orme.
What for? Whole shrimp fleet's out ahead of me now. If I don't get moving, I'll be lucky if I drag in a stingaree.
I'm glad we got you before you took off, then. I want to ask you a few questions about your wife.
What about her?
She's been missing for several weeks, hasn't she?
Yeah. Nigh on to 8 weeks since I set eyes on her.
You tried to locate her?
No.
Why not?
Because I was fed up with her beefing and bellyaching around. Figured it was good riddance.
I think we ought to tell you, Mr. Orme, that your wife's dead. Somebody murdered her.
How?
He was beaten to death.
You've been having trouble with your wife, hadn't you?
What about it?
Maybe you better tell us about it.
There's nothing to tell. Didn't get along, that's all. After a kid drowned, she got worse and worse.
You collected insurance after the boy was killed, didn't you?
Sure, why shouldn't I? Supported him for nigh on to 10 years. Who had a better right?
Why didn't you turn in a missing persons report on your wife, Mr. Orme?
Does a man have to wigwag it to the whole world when his wife walks out on him?
How many weeks ago did you say she left you?
About 8, I reckon. She took all my money with her. I've been saving for years to buy me a new motor for this stink bucket. Really fixed me up, she did.
Have you seen her since you left?
Yeah, just once. A couple of days after she walked out. Tried to get her to come back to me, but she wouldn't.
You know where she was staying?
No. I can tell you what she's doing. Spending all my money on some crackpot doctor.
Doctor?
Yeah. If Alma's laying in the locker now, it's all his fault. He's the one got her crowjacking in the wrong direction with all his blubber about what's going on in her mind. As if he could tell what a body's thinking.
Her mind, huh?
Yeah. She used to come home nights and goad me with a lot of big, crazy-sounding words. Didn't know what they meant herself. Said he was helping her to get over losing the boy. Only reason I put up with it.
What was the doctor's name?
Don't know. She never would tell me.
Was he a psychologist?
He's a quack. That's what he was.
Did you ever see him, Mr. Orme?
No, and I never want to. Talked to him on the phone once. That was enough.
When was that?
One night when I caught Alma calling him from a payphone in the fish house. Grabbed the phone and told him to man his own braces. Leave my wife alone. That was the night she left me. Said I'd disgraced her.
Can you remember anything about his voice or the way he talked?
Yeah. Sounded to me like he had a mouthful of snap beans.
Well, thanks, Mr. Orme. We'll see you later.
Now, you ain't going to keep me here in port when the shrimp are running, are you? It's my living, you know.
Services for your wife are tomorrow.
I'll do my thinking alone, Ranger. Reckon I wouldn't want to see you now anyways.
Would you only be gone 3 days?
That's all.
You got a radio on board?
Sure. You can always contact me through the Coast Guard. I'll be with the shrimping fleet out yonder in the Gulf there.